Okay, so first of all, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Happy past holidays. We got past all of the fun holidays with our families. I know it's probably been, there's Hannah. Hi. I know it's been probably a really busy last couple of weeks for everyone. And we almost didn't do a training or a team huddle for tonight. But then Hannah, myself, and Jackie were talking, and Hannah and I, if you guys know us, we've been in kind of a different season of business, kind of figuring out and shuffling what this season of business looks like. And Jackie just had some golden knowledge and experience of what she's walked through since last convention. And I was like, our teams need to hear this. So that is why we're doing this today. You guys, if you don't know Jackie, she is a powerhouse. She is a kind soul that says it like it is. I consider her like a soul sister, because if we love you, we're going to give it to you straight, right? If that's just how we operate, right? Our love language is talking truthfully and real, and being able to have those real conversations with people without it feeling yucky or weird, because that communicates love to us. So Jackie is a platinum leader here at Q. She's going to share some of her incredible business journey with you guys. She's a mom of 4. Her and her husband are hilarious and so much fun to hang out with. They are who I can't wait until our families get to all know each other and hang out. So without any more of my rambling, you guys, Jackie, our love, our girl, here she is. She's going to take it on for tonight. So hi, Jackie. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. I feel like what you said was just really good, though.
I was thanking you.
Oh.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Hannah. I'm honored that you guys wanted to hear from me. So just thanks for having me on. A little disclaimer though, Audrey, I gotta say, when I put this out to my team, I messaged them privately because I'm not sure this is for someone who's new here. So if you are new here, and by new, I mean within the last year, and you are just riding this Q heavy, like exciting wave, you might want to exit stage left right now. I'm just kidding. I will keep it as happy as I can. But we're going to talk about some sad things, some things like Audrey said that I've walked through, and I don't want that to sort of jade your experience here, because Audrey, Hannah, and I have been here for, oh my God, to say that we've been here a really long time and it's not even been 2 years blows my mind. But you see a lot in 2 years, right? And you do go through the ebbs and flows in business. And I'm really grateful that these 2 women right here are people that I can call on when I do need them to give it to me straight, to give me sound advice. And they're people that I can trust. And how cool is it that you can find that here at Q? So I'm very grateful that you guys had me on tonight. So I'll get right into it. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background, how we came in. We came in hot. I'll give you my story, and then I'm going to leave you with 2 things about how to beat the slump. I guess I'm a pro in this right now because that's where I'm at. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Audrey did tell you that I have 4 small children, and my husband and I are both teachers. And we always worked a ton of jobs to make ends meet. So when Q fell into our laps, we were losing all of our supplemental income from 2020. So the tutoring, the bartending, yoga instructor, all of that was fading away. And we needed Q, like almost back up against the wall type stuff, like almost that dog food story you hear. Yeah, it was getting scary there. So Q fell into our laps, and I said, I found it. I'll get a couple extra $100, guys. We got that, or guys, as in my family. Chris, we got this. I'll figure this out. But as you know, if you know our story, as far as Hannah, Audrey, and I, when we came in hot, and it was something. It was a big build. It was fast. It was very fast. So when you hit silver in 2 months, gold in 3 months, and you become a 6-figure earner in 7, a lot happens. And let me tell you, as fast as it went like this, equally as fast, it went like this. So don't think that, you won't have that in business. I don't wish it on people, but that's what I'm here to talk to you tonight about. So I actually got pregnant with our 4th in the month that we hit gold. And that was a really great thing for us, because that meant I was going to be able to stay home, maternity leave, 89 unpaid days. Okay. So that's it. My story could stop there and we would be cool. But as you know, it was a very fast thing. I don't even think I stopped to even understand or enjoy exactly what was happening because we were in heavy, heavy hustle culture. I have since stepped away from that. There's something to be said for it. There's something to be said against it. And I'm not here to, preach either way. But that's where we were. That's where my team was. So all of those things that they warn you about, guys, the don't let the rank define you, be careful of burnout, all of those things that the leaders are like, this could happen, pretty much happened. So even after Benjamin, I found myself in maternity leave, like away from the district, but now I didn't even take 2 weeks away from up calls. I got right back in it. It was like an addiction almost. Like I had to just get back into it. I felt like if I stepped away, all hell would break loose. There's problems in and of itself there. And then I stopped taking care of myself. And I became so heavily involved in how to help my team, how to do, all things Q, what was my next goal and how the hell was I going to get there with a newborn on my shoulder? Like tell me, like I was just like absorbing it all, but then autopilot is probably the word that comes to mind constantly. So I stopped taking care of myself. And then in May of 2021, we had a scary event with the baby and he was 8 or 9 months old. I can't do the math right now. But we landed in the ER and that was all it took for me to start to spiral. I am prone to anxiety and depression. So anyone that's on this call, it's very real. I can relate to it and I didn't talk about it. No one knew about it. My team had no idea. The only one who did know about it was my husband, and it took some time for that to happen. So in this dark, dark place that I was in, I was still going through all of the things with Q, and I went to convention. And at one point, I was walking around outside of convention, crying, just walking the perimeter of convention, just crying, just bawling my eyes out. I was in a really, really sad place. I felt like a fraud because everything that those speakers were talking about on stage didn't apply to me. I wasn't doing it. I felt so removed and just not aligned. And all of those like icky feelings where you start to question, like, what the hell am I doing? Am I even good at this? Like, what am I doing? I cried to a business partner. She's probably on this call, who I had gone to convention with. After convention, we sat at a restaurant and I just unleashed on her and just bawled. And I almost felt guilty because I was doing the things that Jake Spencer says not to do as a leader, right? Like, don't show frustration, don't show sadness, don't show any of those things. And here she was, but she took off her biz hat and I took off my biz hat. And at that point, she was just a friend that I cried and cried and cried. And then I got on the airplane and proceeded to cry some more, so much so that the person next to me was probably like, what the hell's wrong with this chick? I mean, like hours on the plane, guys, I was crying. And then I got home from convention and I looked at my husband and that was it. I knew I had to stop this, whatever was going on, because I was smiling through all of it. No one knew. I convinced myself that if my team knew what I was going through, they would look at me as a weak leader, right? They would stop coming to me for things. People all around me were quitting and I was blaming myself. Like I said, I wasn't aligned and I felt like the skills that I was learning in leadership I just capped. Like, where do I go from here? So Tara said something I watched, I don't remember when, but it really resonates here. It's, the arrow, right? In like a bow and arrow, it's got to go back the farthest in order to go forward the farthest. And I had to just like hit rock bottom in order to propel forward. So you're probably like, well, when does this story get better? This is pretty sad. So two things I did. The first thing was, and I heard it from Britt Hitch, in order to have this shift that I needed so desperately, she said, pick one of the 5 F's, just one of them. And I sat there and I was like, yeah, well, that makes sense because every one of them I'm failing in. So let me just pick one. And you're probably sitting here thinking, I wonder which one I would pick if I was in a dark place. And for me, it was fitness. I said, I'm going to just pick fitness because something told me if I pick that and I can find these micro wins every day, then maybe things will start to trickle into the other 5 F's, right? So I picked fitness, I focused on that. And some people are like, well, how are you fitting that in? You have a baby, you have 3 other children, you have a business. Like, how are you now going to fit this fitness thing in? Because that's your goal, right? So I started small. My son started football. So I said, hey, Chris, I'm going to take Christopher to football. And I walked and walked and walked while he was at practice. I took Frankie to dance, and I would walk and walk and walk while she was at dance. So I took those responsibilities that I already had as a mom and I fitted in, and I started to feel better, of course, right? And then I said to Chris, I had those real conversations we have to have with our spouse. I said, I have to get back to this. It has to be more than just, going for these walks. And I went back to the gym, and then it started to trickle in, and I did Whole30. And then I started to feel good, and it started to come back together. I started to get back to me. My family time became more intentional. Those boundaries that the leaders tell us about, make sure yes, they were very strict. My team knows not even to reach out to me on Sundays. If Jen's on this call, she was like, she reached out to me yesterday and she said, oh, it's Sunday, I'm so sorry. Or what Sunday, whatever day it was. So yeah, and then we scheduled the FFM call that I had put off all summer long. Like, we had a relationship with Laura, but then it all fell off when I was in this deep, dark depression, right? So then, as far as Q goes, so my first piece of advice is find one of the 5 F's and just focus on that. Find micro wins there. And then as far as Q, a couple things happened. I found a mentor that I really aligned with. And then I started to gain some new skills in business. And that was a game changer for me. But I knew something was still missing. So I think it was Fran who said maybe like a year and a half ago, if you find yourself in this position in your business where you're in a slump, find one person, just one, and help them win. Just find one person and help them win. And that's what I did. I found one person, I helped her win, and it felt so, so good. I stopped going in autopilot. I stopped the hustle culture. And when I did that, I was able to really listen to what my team needed, right? I needed to collaborate over dictate. I knew that, hands down. And we had to do it together. And it was interesting that as this started to happen, as this shift in me started to happen, I had people on my team saying, hey, you seem a little different. They were feeling it too. And that was really cool, because I got back to what is it that you need so that we can win together? Because this business is so much more than just like paychecks. It's so much more about these relationships, like between Audrey and Hannah, and like just being able to share this with them. I felt lighter, but I also was heavy with, I need my team to win. If anyone's on here and they have a bigger team, you carry, and I know Hannah and Audrey feel this, we carry this really heavy weight if you guys aren't winning. We do, because we just want the best for you guys. And I know this from conversations I've had with them, and sometimes it gets really, really heavy. So you gotta slow down sometimes to speed up. You gotta really pull back on that arrow so that you can go forward. So those are, the 2 main things that I did. And those were the messages that Hannah and Audrey wanted me to share. And I can open it up to questions, of course, but I'll just leave you with a couple of things that I've found along the way that I've written down. Because journaling, if you're in inner circle, that journaling, it's a game changer as well. But you can't forget who you are, where you came from, how you got there, and the power that you have to do it again. And I did. I lost all that. I forgot all that. I forgot, you did all of this stuff right out the gate. You came in. I mean, screw company, screw all the things that they say, oh, well, it was just because of this. No, you did some really great things when you came in here. Don't forget that. And don't forget that you have the power to get back there. So if you find that you forgot that, then just go back and pick one of those 5 F's and find those micro wins. And then take that inspired action needed to help one person win. Okay. And some of you might be like, damn, she's really like honest on social media. Like, yes, I did just, do a reel where my belly's hanging out. I don't really care. I'm going to tell you where I've been. I'm going to tell you I was in a dark place. And maybe you're like, I can't do that. But here's what I'm going to say. It was Brene Brown, I believe. If you guys listen to her podcast, she's phenomenal. She was the one who said, if you do not turn towards your story and own it, it's going to own you. So for me, I felt like if I share a little bit about this and get it out, right? And whatever that looks like for you, but social media can sometimes be an outlet for me. And when I was able to do that, and then stories came pouring in like, hey, thanks for sharing. I feel this. It helped me not let that story like completely own me, right? Like I was able to step outside of it and sort of see like the bigger picture. So I do know also that people follow strength, and there's no better thing to say than like, hey, yes, we hit platinum and then we fell back. We fell back, and I'm here to tell you that you can dig yourself back up. That there is light at the end of that tunnel, and that you can do these small things, to get out of the slump. So that's really all I had for you, Audrey. I hope that I know it was only 20 minutes, but we can turn it over to questions if you want to.
Yeah.
Up to you.
No, that was awesome. One of the things I actually love about you, whenever you've trained my team, is just like how like powerful and brief you are. Like you just say it and it's like, you don't have to do all the fluff. I always find myself like so much fluff around my like, and then it's like, okay, 40 minutes later. So I appreciate that about you.
You know what that is? That's the personality type. That's the A. No,
Yes.
no, yeah. What is it? It's the red.
It's red. Yeah.
Get it out, Jackie. What you got to say? Get it out.
I know, which I'm super red, and I'm like that in normal conversations, but I feel like when I'm in front of people, I always like want to make sure no one's feelings get hurt.
Yeah.
Not saying that you don't worry about that. That came out wrong.
No,
like,
I do.
No one's feelings got hurt. That was perfect. But yeah, no, first of all, thank you for sharing, because I know that was like, it's super vulnerable to say like I was in a depressive, like, what's the word that I'm looking for?
State. It was bad.
Yeah. And like had to dig myself out of it. And here's how I did it. And you guys, when you shared this with us over our little text thread, what really got me is how simple it was. I think that I'm going to cry. Sorry. I'm in a slump and I know that. Sorry. And I'm the kind of person that I look at everything and I'm like, got to do this. And you look at every area of your life. You look at every area of business. You look at all the people you've brought into business, and you have this huge, what you talked about, that huge weight of like, all of these things I have to do. I have to be a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a businesswoman. I have to make sure these people are thriving. I'm the baseball, team mom. I'm the this, I'm the that, fill in the blanks, whatever it is. I work part-time at a gym, all these things. And how simple it was for you to just say, pick one F to work on and choose one person to help, right? Like when I can just hone in on that, right? I'm like, it just suddenly seems so much lighter. That doesn't mean it's easy, because it's work, right? But it just seems so much lighter. Like, Audrey, stop figuring out like, that you need to batch your reels and that you need to do this, and that you need to do that. Just like focus on one F, find someone that you can help, right? And that like is huge. And I feel like if we all did that, our business and lives would look radically more what we hope they would look like, right? So anyway, sorry, it just hit me. It's good. I needed to hear that. Maybe my team didn't need to hear it and I just needed to hear it. I don't know, but I think my team needed to hear it. You guys, if you have questions for Jackie, I have one question for you. When you found one person to help, was that someone new that you brought into your team, or was that someone that was already there that you said, this person, is showing me that they want it and I'm going to run with them? Like, what did that look like?
The person that I focused on had been here for a long time.
Okay.
And she wasn't getting those wins, and something was missing, and I couldn't pinpoint it until I actually got in and sort of figured it out with her. And when you work really closely with someone every single day, she was just as much a part of me getting out of the slump as I was a part of her success. So it was like a give and take there. Like I needed her as much as she needed me. And it was really, really cool to see that someone who had been here, not given up, and was still here with me, that I could help them and I could put them in a position to sort of like, all right, here's what you're really good at. Here's what I'm really good at. let's
Yeah.
put it together and see where we can go. But when that training was done by Fran, she didn't specify whether it was someone here for a long time or someone new.
Yeah.
Actually, she might have said someone new because again, new growth in your team is going to do other things as well, right?
Yeah.
But when this woman started winning here, I think heads started to turn. So I don't think it matters personally. I think you could get in the trenches with someone here that you see things in, or you could go find someone new and help them win. But God, it feels good. It
Yeah.
feels so good. It's like that missing, it like reminds you of like why you got here in the first place, right?
Mhm.
And the other thing I wrote down, and I didn't share it, but when I was in that dark place, like, and they say like the whole cliche shit about like your why and like it's got to be big, like, and now they're saying like screw that, it doesn't have to be big, you don't have to cry about it.
Yeah.
But for me, we knew what it was, right? It was my kids, it was getting that maternity leave.
Yeah.
And so when I went into that dark depression and I was in the fetal position in my bed, but texting Chris, bring me the baby, right? And I would sit there and he would sit on my, he would just look at me and I would feel better. Don't let the thing that got you here take you out. Somewhere I lost, like, wait a second, I did all of that for him so that I could be here with him for those 89 days. And now I'm going to let it take me out, right? Because I just want to be with him and curled up in the bed. Screw that, Jackie. Like, get back to that shit.
Yeah.
Because that's what you came here for in the first place. So don't let the thing, whatever it is, when you're reflecting on like, why am I here in the first place? Don't let that be the thing that also takes you out of the game.
Yeah.
Jackie, what would you say? Sorry, excuse my voice. What would you say to the people that maybe are sitting there feeling like, I don't know how to help someone win? Maybe they have been here a while and haven't seen a lot of success. Like not us, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like someone, anyone else on this call that doesn't know what to do to help someone to win.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's such a good question. Like, where do you start? I just went back to basics because I talked about that hustle culture. If you slow down and really take a minute to see what it is that you need to succeed here, it's not that difficult. It's very simple. And if you can simplify those things into steps for people and you can teach them new skills, and maybe, just maybe, you find a mentor out there that you align with a little bit more, right? And you can start to see a shift in yourself because you're gaining new skills and you want to bring that back to somebody. That would be my suggestion. So it doesn't have to be like Audrey and Hannah and I always say, like, you guys get tired of hearing, like my team gets tired of hearing from me, right? That's why they brought me in here. Hint, hint, like that. They brought me in here because they could say all this stuff. They've been through all of this, guys. Like they want you to hear it from me. So maybe if there's someone in queue that you're feeling pulled to, reach out to them. We already know what this culture's like here, right? Maybe it's Hannah, maybe it's Audrey. And you're just like, pulled to them. I'll tell you, there's something to be said for that. Because I was really grateful when I did reach out to this person and they were like, they just like took me in and it was like, yeah, let's do this. So when I gained new skills there, I brought it back to that new person that I was working with, and we brought it back to basics. And what that looked like was stripping it down. Let's open up your back office. Show me what you got going on. Nothing there. All right, let's work on bringing a customer in. Let's work on bringing a business partner in. I'm going to teach you how to bridge people to me. I'm going to teach you what to do when they say no. You guys have all of the resources that you need, every single thing that you need to help somebody else win. It's just taking those necessary steps, strip it down. Let's get back to basics. Let's go back to connecting with people. Let's help someone grab a couple customers and a weekly paycheck. Make it that simple.
It's so good. I was going to say, I think that you could have added on here your two things, right? Pick an F, find one person to help win. Your third thing was you found a mentor that you really connected with. And you just said that, like, and guys, I want to clarify what she's saying. It wasn't the person that brought her into this business. It wasn't even 5 people between the person that brought her in business and her. It was someone completely out of the, like, visual of what you would think of a mentor right above you. And that is so okay. It's not a knock to anyone above you. I am not offended if I brought you in this business, but there's someone else that you connect with and really feel inspired to work alongside. that to me is like, and Jackie and Hannah and any other leader in Q is going to say, that's a good thing. That is so good. So I love what she said. If you see a leader that you feel like you really align with, like, start putting yourself in a place where they know you want relationship with them. They're not going to come to you probably, right? But you can come to them, and say like, hey, I really need this. I really want a relationship with you. And see where that leads, because it's led to really incredible growth for Jackie. Hannah and I have watched it, incredible growth, and incredible growth for her team too, you know? So don't be afraid of that, because sometimes we just need that right person to link arms with, you know? Yeah. And that could be crossline, upline. It could be anywhere. Doesn't matter. Any more questions for Jackie, you guys?
My girls in the chat are gonna make me cry right now. Oh my goodness. I just went through, it's just such a special place to be here. Again, I'm just so honored that you had me on. I'm humbled every day. And the girls that did comment, you know who you are. And even if you didn't comment, you know who you are. You force me to be better every day. You remind me to just show up and, and do the things. And I'm sure that Hannah and Audrey have those special people as well. So it's such a cool, I cannot wait to hug all of you guys at convention, because I feel like from last convention where I'm walking around crying, and this one, I'm like, I'm so excited. So yeah.
That's amazing. I'm excited for convention too. I feel like my heart and soul needs it. Like I told Hannah and Jackie the other day, I was like, and my team, I told you guys this, I cannot freaking wait to hug people. I don't know. It's been a crazy 6 months since the last convention.
Sure has.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now's the time to beat the slump, my friends, because what's happening, we can all capitalize on, right? So
I'm so fucking excited. Who else is excited for what's coming convention? A whole new line.
I have a question, because I'm very, very, I relate to this a lot. But my question, I guess, really is, I know y'all seen it. There's a lot of activity that's going on right now in Q, a lot of new people that have come in, a lot of new people that, quite frankly, were very nasty to us when we reached out to them. And now a year later, here they are, and winning really big. So I guess my question to you, Jackie, is, do you feel like that time that was down, are you still feeling kind of like you're in a little bit of a slump, and that maybe you, like, time was wasted? Like, I'm trying not to beat myself up too much, because a lot has happened in my life that a lot of people don't know about. But I just wondered if you feel like time was wasted, and that you feel like a little bit bad for your family, or maybe for your team, or whatever, because do you feel like there's time that got missed? You know what I mean? Because of that, do you have like a little bit of guilt? And I'm not saying that to say you have to feel guilty. I'm saying I feel guilty is what I'm saying. So I'm just trying to relate to someone to see if someone is in that same boat.
Yeah, that's a very real and raw feeling, my friend. And yes, the guilt, whew, it was heavy. It was really heavy, because you put these expectations on yourself, for your family, for your team, right? So many people are relying on you. So yeah, I felt like I wasn't showing up in the way that people needed me to show up. And when I was, it was just a fake smile. And one of my business partners dropped in there that you can feel when we're off, just like you can feel when the energy's high. And I knew that they could feel that I was off. So yeah, do I carry guilt there that I wasn't for a while, I wasn't my best self? Absolutely. But if I were to live in that every single day, shit, that's not going to serve anybody. No, I cannot live in that where I was, and I have to get back to what I know I can do and where I'm headed. So it's sort of like blinders on, and I'm sorry that you are walking through it now, or you had walked through it, or you even had some experiences here that were less than awesome. I mean, but it is life, right? And we are going to do this throughout our business. So when things do happen, look, I'm a big fan of Q, but there are things where I turn my head, I'm like, what was that? And that's when I call Audrey and I call Hannah, and we listen to each other. And that's always a really cool thing when you can have a sounding board, because none of this is going to be perfect, right? But you're going to show up and do the best that you can with what you have. I wrote down something else Tara said.
I was just going to add, from a recovery perspective, it's the shame thing, right? So me, I used to do drugs. So I would do drugs and I'd feel terrible because I was doing drugs, and I'd feel guilty. So I'd do more drugs, and then I'd do more drugs. And I didn't have a single day where I didn't do them. So I felt terrible every single day. But the second you stop, you can start to let the guilt go, right? And I know that, like, that's how kind of I feel like this would be, right? So if you continue to be stuck, halted, not that you can help being depressed, but like depressed to a point where you're not doing anything, that shame and that guilt is going to just hold you there. Whereas if you let that go, you're more likely to take a step out. It's kind of the way I see it.
I also have to add, Sabrina, because I think I know kind of the situation you're talking about with people. People say no to us, you guys. I've heard so many no's. Okay. First of all, if you guys think that anyone at a rank that you're looking at as like a goal for you hasn't heard an F ton, I won't say the actual word, but an F ton of no's, and had our feelings hurt, had our ego busted, right? Had people that said no and then signed up with someone else. You guys, it's happened to us over and over and over again. So Sabrina, I want to encourage you that you are not alone in that. And it feels gross, especially when those people that say yes a year later, after you gave them an opportunity a year ago, come in and are soaring because of who they signed up with and because of the network that they already had, right? Raise your hand if that has happened to you, because it's happened to me at least 4 times since I've been here, where I had someone I asked, they were going to be huge. They told me no. 6 months later, they come sign up somewhere else because I took my foot off the gas with them a little bit because they said no, right? And then they blew up. Okay. It happens to all of us, and it feels so gross. It feels so gross, but it is also a part of business. And I guarantee, Sabrina, that you're going to grow through that by taking the next steps as new people come across you. And as you get the opportunity to talk to more people about Q. And next time you're going to be better at what you do because of that experience. Right. And,
yeah, and it's not just, and I don't want to turn this to a whole nother issue, because quite frankly, that is a whole nother issue. I mean, that took literally, after that happened, I'm not kidding you, it took about a week, Shelby knows this, about a week or so after that, literally, to keep my whole team from just quitting.
Yeah.
Because my whole team experienced, a lot of the people that came, not only did they say no, they were right down nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like, Q is disgusting, Q is gross, Q, you guys are nasty people. I mean, there was some really, really horrible things said. And now, I don't know if you guys have been on, but now, it's really painful to see, that happen. No. Hey, I'm on here. It's really painful to see that happen. And then, and like, they block you, they completely shut you off. It's not a matter of us not going back to them. It's that they won't allow us to go back to them.
Totally. I've had that.
And then to see that Jake is singing their praises, that really is like a knife, and so, and like I said, I don't want to detract from that, but I'm just saying that this is just a small part of, and that's why I appreciate so much Jackie saying these things, because it's just a small part of the different things. She started out saying that, hey, if you're here and things are going great for you, then hey, whoo. But a lot of us, it went great. And then there's like that down, and you expect that. If you're a business person, you expect that. But when it went down, some of us, we were having trouble coming back up for whatever reasons, personal, business, whatever reasons. And so, and then to try to dig ourselves back up out of that, and then to see some additional stressors in there, you kind of feel guilty for not being able to fully help your team as much as you would have liked to, because you were in a place not being able to help them to get past not just those no's, but those really bad no's. And then a year later see, hey, and they're looking at the dollar signs going, oh my goodness, my family could have been could have been doing so well right now. And, you know, this, because I didn't know how to deal with that, I couldn't help them. And so yeah, so a lot of what Jackie's saying is like I said, there's a whole bigger picture here behind all this, but that's why I appreciate what Jackie's saying so much, is because I think all of us as moms, as, you know, as business owners, we really are feeling it and feeling it down to the heart.
For sure. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Sabrina. Are there any other questions, you guys?
Guys, even if you have logistical questions, like, you know, you may have asked me 100 times, how do I bring people to you? But ask Jackie, ask Audrey, you know, we're here right now. Maybe they'll say it in a way. And I'm not saying you guys don't understand me, and it's not just my accent and my bad voice, but
don't have a coughing attack. No. I will say too, something that's been really helpful for me in what I would consider the biggest slump of my business right now. I'll just be totally transparent with you guys, is finding cross-line relationships. And Jackie and Hannah have been like, I could cry. It's like on the hard days, it's like the only thing that I'm like, I need to talk to Jackie and Hannah. You know what I mean? Because there are hard days, no matter how big or little your team is here. There's a lot of self-doubt that you have to combat through in this type of business, and having people in your corner that speak to you with truth and with love and with grace, and also just remind you who you are. It's invaluable. So
I mean, no skin in your game. You know, when Jackie and Audrey message and say, Hannah, you're quiet, you know, I haven't heard from you. It's not like someone here saying, Hannah, you're quiet. How's your business going? Why aren't you doing any business? You know, it feels different. It feels different.
It does. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to stop recording, but